The last gate opened and the main opponent came out of it. But the protagonist beat Jinwoo can handle him. All citizens need to evacuate from the site of the fight. Then those words were repeated again on the automatic global broadcast. The last gate opened and the main opponent came out of it. All citizens need to evacuate from the fight scene. There was some sort of explosion in the high-rise building. The gate opened and windows flew out. A crack went upwards through the building, and some sort of voice like white noise was heard. The main monster came out of the gate. It was an incredibly large skeleton. Probably it was even bigger than the high-rise building it had just crushed. He was wearing a grey robe through which his bones and armor peeked through from below. His opponent was already looking down at him. Warrior, the skeleton asked in front of him, was a tall guy with brave eyes. This was the last hero, Jin Woo. He wasn't wearing any armor, only a sword. What do I have to fear death? The guy asked. Thy beak began. I have long ago lost that fear, and the brave hero threw a blue whirlwind at the monster. Jin Woo flew to meet death with incredible speed. All I need to do is kill you, and finally close the gate. He was already very close to the skeleton and managed to swing in. Flight Death only put out his bony hand trying to supposedly stop his savior. It's your end, yelled Beck. The skeleton wasn't frightened or even tensed up at all. He thought it was funny. And the blue vortex carried him far away. Will the last hero find his death here? Finish the skeleton. Suddenly, Beck appeared right in front of Death's nose. He flew at the skeleton, and his sword had long been at the ready. This time the monster did not expect such a turn of events, and the guy swung his sword, and the skeleton was blown to pieces by the shockwave. The victory of the hero over the villain of very banal Danum. Yes, you are a hero of all mankind. You will close the gate, and will certainly become a legend of mankind, and fame awaits you, said the skeleton. The hero is a legend, I don't care, Jinwoo replied indifferently. A memory came back to Beak. I'm going to die, but I want you to save this world. You are a special warrior. The woman said to Beck. There was blood on his hands. He held the woman choking on his own tears. It was deep night and a full moon. There were countless dead people and swords sticking out of the ground. I realized that I was a burden hero. You have to protect everyone. The hero succeeded. Some office worker was cheering if it wasn't for him. We'd all be dead by now. Supported by his female co-worker, we need you. Warrior shouted, Come one, I'm a hero, and I'm a warrior, and I'm tired, said her hero. Jinwoo's face did not show joy after killing the enemy. No, there was no face on it, and the hero was depressed. He was tired. Let's kill each other, he suggested to Death. And I will finally be free from this fate. I couldn't protect the person I cared most about anyway. Now I have fulfilled my destiny and can die in peace. Beck thought the long-awaited end is near. Beck closed his eyes. Finally he wouldn't have to hold a sword anymore. Cuckoo is our glorious little master awake. A male voice spoke and continued to shout. Beck opened his eyes and saw the giant face of a long-haired, grey-haired man staring down at him with his small green eyes. Beck was frightened of my being attacked by a giant, thought the boy. A white-gloved hand touched his cheek. Did I die closing the gate? Okay, we'll figure it out later. We have to kill this giant first. Beck took the giant's finger, which he used to touch his cheek. Ha ha, ma'am. Look at that, said the grey-haired giant. Little Riley was holding on so tightly to my finger, such a firm grip on the little one. The same grey-haired giant and a blonde, smiling girl in a bright orange dress stood in front of Beck, and the boy stretched out his arms in front of him. Jan, you woke up the baby. That's why he's like this, explained the blonde girl. You see, Riley isn't even crying, stretching his arms out in front of him. Beck wondered, what are these little hands of mine and Riley? He was getting scared. How cute he's already starting to show his talents. The girl gasped. Maybe it's just my childhood memories. Beck tried to reassure himself. After all, he was the youngest son of the great swordsman Count Ipet. Beck was a baby. He was lying in a cradle covered with a soft pink blanket. Am I in some strange world? The hero continued to panic. Yes, he was in a strange world. So this woman said something about Sipet. The warrior continued to ponder. Riley seems to be awake. Are you ready to accept the blessing of the sword? The new strange man turned to Beck. I am the master of the sword. You are my youngest son. We are Ieta, a family of great sword masters, and the blessing of the sword is a very important and long-awaited ritual for each of our children. The man told him he seemed to be the Earl of Ipoet. He was tall, his hair was ashky-coloured, and his eyes were brown. Beck's face, meanwhile, was irresistible. He was shocked. Various people began to voice their opinions and ask questions. Yes, I can already see him picking up his first sword. Have you polished a sword for Riley? Yet another heir will become a master swordsman and his father's pride. Beck was horrified. He had promised himself in his past life that he would never pick up a sword again, and now he was reborn into a family of swordmasters. How do I make sense of this? And what's this for? Swords came flying at little Beck from above. Swords. What the hell are you doing? 3 swords were thrown at Riley at once, and Beck got PTSD. Those are real swords. Oh, the young master seems excited. He can't wait to get his first sword in his hands, said a red-haired man. Beck waved his small hands in denial. What are you talking about? He thought your lordship looked young. Riley said, one of the girls excitedly. He already likes the sword. These fools don't understand. I don't like him at all. I hate swords, Beck countered. Little Riley burst into tears, so upset was he by the thought of the sword. I swore I'd never pick up a sword again. He said I was reborn in the body of a child and kept my memory of my past life. When will death ever defeat me again? Beck cried.
Subscribe if you are waiting for next episode. It's coming tomorrow. See you soon.